Hey there folks, it's me B3, back to another fantastic graphic novel review. Yes, today we are back in the MIGNOLAVERSE. It's been a while since I touched one of these, but I am reading all of the omnibuses. Today we are reading the Hellboy Omnibus, Volume 3, The Wild Hunt. Very excellent book. This is right before Hellboy in Hell, and I'm super excited to read Hellboy in Hell, but I am reading these in order, so I'm not quite there yet. But let me read you the back of the book. For the first time in one volume, the epic that inspired the new film featuring David Harbour and Mila Jovovich. Mia Jovovich. The biggest Hellboy omnibus rings in at 528 pages, telling one massive story by one incredible team, the rise of the witches and their terrible queen, Nimue. Combines Arthurian legend and British folklore with Mignola's signature take on otherworldly occultism. Hellboy has heard troubling prophecies about himself from madmen and mythological figures for decades, but that fate has never been so apparent and so earth-shaking. Reprinting Darkness Calls, The Wild Hunt and the Storm, and The Fury from Dark Horse Books. Love the MIGNOLAVERSE. First up, his art, incredible. The way he shades things, just the angles, so unique. Like, you see his art and you're like, that's Mignola, dude. Most of the art in this is by Duncan Fagredo, though. Mignola mostly does cover arts in this. But that's still pretty good. You got colors by Dave Stewart, letters by Clem Robbins, and it looks great. It really does look great. And God, is it a good story. I love how Mignola tries to do types of folklore stuff that you don't typically see here in the States. Folklore from a lot of other countries, or folklore that a lot of people here just don't know about, but might be common knowledge in other parts of the world. Very interesting. You, of course, see Hellboy, like, drinking and gambling with ghosts. A classic Hellboy thing. The demon crawl out of him. His skin float around, his big key hand getting all used. It's just a crazy, crazy vision. But also, you know, Hecate's coming up and mocking this quote-unquote half-man who kind of tries to really get one up on her, you know. And the witches, they're coming back, you know. Some people want to wake this old witch queen up. Some people do not. They really, really do not. She kind of really screws things up when stuff comes around. And also we kind of get some hints about Witchfinder, and we will be talking about Witchfinder down the road, but Hellboy interrupts a big witch thing in Chapter 1. And we do see him have to kind of fight them more in Chapter 2, specifically. Very cool. And God, I just want to talk about the art a little more, honestly. Because they do a great job trying to match Mignola's style. It's not perfect. It's like if Mignola's style was... How do I say this without sounding insulting? Because it's not insulting. What I'm about to say is a compliment. It's like Mignola's style with a bit more clarity. How about that? When you look at it, it's a bit more clear as to what's going on. But one of the great things about Mignola's style is the mystery of it, you know? Not being able to see everything. But we see Baba Yaga, or the Baba Yaga, I've heard it pronounced many times. She wants to take one of Hellboy's eyes, because a while back he took one of her eyes, and then there's this Fae that's stuck in this little pig form because of Hellboy from, I think, all the way back in... God, was that in Volume 1 of the Omnibus? It was a while ago, but she's got Hellboy fighting giant wolves and undead armies and stuff, and then there's this god who's getting a little weaker that helps Hellboy out a bit, but Baba Yaga just is like, hey, none of this is enough. I need the Deathless. because she has like his soul hidden inside an animal, 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 and she's gonna send him to take Hellboy's eye. If he can't manage to kill Hellboy, she wants him to at least take Hellboy's eye. But we see these fae and these witches waking up this evil witch queen while Hellboy is fighting the Deathless, a man that absolutely cannot die, which used to be good for him, but now he's like, I want to die. So, but Baba Yaga controls me, but she says if I do this for her, I get my soul back. If I get my soul back, I can die. But there's all these forces, more than ever before, working against Hellboy, working with him. There are some witches that want the queen back, some witches that don't. Some fae that want the queen back. Most fae do not. But you know how it goes. Magical forests, skeletons with glowing eyes, and witches. As always, lots and lots and lots of witches. Baba Yaga has to end up empowering the Deathless. I always call him Koichi. I'm so positive I'm pronouncing that wrong, because Koichi is like a stand user from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4 and Part 5. But that's I see that, and that's just how I read it. I know it's wrong. I know it's wrong, but you know, here we are. Anyway, Hellboy somehow gets out of all this mess. He is tattered. He's torn up. But hey, maybe he can hunt some giants. A wild hunt, even. Don't you want to see Hellboy go hunt some giants? We also get a peek in at the b.r.p.d, aka the b.r.p.d, which I also have been reading, and is also very good. We get this cool kind of creation myth about their world, which I really, really like. God, Mignola and his team are just so good at making their stuff stand out. And I do also want to say I like that the b.r.p.d and all the paranormal stuff, I like that it's not secret. Like, people just know about it. They can just call the b.r.p.d when something paranormal is going on. Very cool. Very interesting. Everyone always wants to make it secret government organization. Even, I think Del Toro even did that for the Hellboy movies, made it a secret government organization. But that's what everybody does in all these kinds of stories. But it's so much more interesting to me when it's just part of the world, much more fully and much better integrated in this way, you know? I'm not knocking the secret stuff, it's fine, but I like this a lot more. Anyway, there's this wild hunt that Hellboy joins to go hunt some giants. And while going out on this hunt, the hunters betray Hellboy. They're like, we know what you are, and the devil will never sit on the throne of England. And Hellboy's like, the throne of England? What the hell are you talking about? Actually, he doesn't say what the hell are you talking about, because after he says the word you, they zap his ass. Anyway, they do want to kill Hellboy, but he's getting these Arthurian visions, right? And Hellboy is like, well, they betrayed me, but I can let off some steam by hunting these giants who are eating their horses. Poor horses. Hellboy fights these giants, but he gets a little too into it. He kind of starts to go a little berserk, actually. Quite factually. And it's not great. His horns grow in, and he's like, oh, this is the devil in me. This is what I'm trying to avoid becoming. Not good. But while he's doing that, the little Fey Piggy is waking up the Witch Queen, which he eventually does come to regret. Now, this Fey, many, many years ago, actually stole a baby. They took this baby, and Hellboy rescued this baby. That baby is now an adult woman. And Hellboy, he grew up really quickly and like into an adult body and mind really fast. And now he ages like extremely slowly. almost xenomorph-esque. You know how xenomorphs like age to an adult super fast, and then they kind of almost stay the same age forever, unless they need to like replace a queen or something, in which case they can kind of evolve quickly into something bigger. Hellboy kind of does that. He's got those xenomorph genes, and this woman who he rescued as a baby is going to start going around with him trying to find answers. And they do get kind of romantic, and it does feel kind of weird. He rescued her as a baby, so, but technically, she's... he's only like a couple years older than her. She's really almost his age. Because once again, he aged so quickly. So I don't think it's immoral, I guess. Maybe not. I only have what context is mostly on these pages. I don't know. They seem to know each other from between when she was a baby and now. We didn't see those interactions. But it definitely does feel like a natural kind of romance coming together. But it's still weird, right? It's still a little weird. I think it's okay, but it's still a little weird. Anyway, they fight off all these little goblin-looking dudes. Very fun. And Hellboy finds out this crazy, huge reveal. Hellboy finds out that he is not only a descendant of, like, the devil of devils, but the king of kings. No, not Jesus Christ, though that would be hilarious and also probably pretty cool. But no, he's a descendant of King Arthur on his mother's side. So he can, like, wield Excalibur and is destined to sit on the throne of England. But the thing is, he's also destined to be, like, a destroyer that brings about the apocalypse. And the thing about Hellboy is, whenever someone tells him there's a prophecy that says you'll do this, he does his damnedest, pun intended, to avoid doing that thing. So yeah, he's trying to avoid bringing on the apocalypse, but now he's also trying to avoid sitting on the throne. He does not want to do that at all. Anyway, a hedgehog takes him to Morgan Le Fay. She gives him all this exposition and blah blah blah. And I promise soon we're gonna get to more violence. You know, there's all these knights that swore to protect England rising up out of their graves and stuff to fight alongside Hellboy. And the ancient dragon that Rasputin and all these others wanted to wake up or try to steal its power, blah blah blah. It's closer than ever. Closer than ever to coming and just destroying everything. Some of these villains, they want a rebirth, some want permanent destruction, some want just pure chaos. There's a lot going on, both in Hellboy's professional and personal life. Well, technically he's not with the b.r.p.d. anymore. He's just kind of doing this as a hobby. It's really more of a hobby for him at this point. But yeah, he pulls that sword out. He's very reluctant about it. But he does do it. The thing is, though, eventually he does also kind of give that power up. Yeah, because once again, he doesn't want any of this. He really doesn't. But all these corpses that want to fight alongside him come to him. And all of these monsters are also trying to kill him, like this big creepy Roman thing. There is a lot going on. A lot going on. He's got to worry about Queen Mab, like the Witch Queen and everything. So much. And of course, the pig regrets his actions, waking up Mab, and he gets punished pretty heavily. Pretty heavily indeed. I know this sounds like it's going on long, and that's because this is an incredibly long book. And if you don't think I'm giving you enough details, good, because I don't want to give you every detail. I want you to go and read some of this stuff for yourself, dudes. A lot of cool stuff, but you know, Hellboy sees on the news some of the frog stuff they got up to in the b.r.p.d. We see a little flashback and some Lobster Johnson stuff. I'll also be reading all of Lobster Johnson. Did I review a volume of Lobster Johnson already? I don't think so. Anyway, he kisses the girl, sees the hung pig, shoots him. All that jazz. This really is a wonderful book, worth rereading multiple times. Really and truly, just a magnificent book. There's so many people that want Hellboy to be so many different things, but then he runs back into the Baba Yaga, and she takes his eye. Not only that, he willingly gives it to her, which is pretty insane. Hellboy, I don't know if he plucks it out or if he lets her pluck it out, because it doesn't show it, but we see her holding it, and it kind of looks like she plucked it out based on how bloody her fingers are. But she does help him in this way. Pretty good, because, you know, doesn't really seem like she's a fan of the Mab. So Ragnarok is coming. The world, it's so close to ending, and Hellboy, it's time for him to face the dragon. But he has to fight his way up a castle. So many corpses. The sword finds another to wield it, thankfully, luckily, and he is able to fight with the armies of the dead, honorable protectors of England, to come and aid Hellboy. It's a huge battle. So much bigger than anything we've seen in this. We see Mab becoming the vessel for the dragon, turning into a gigantic, hellish dragon. The castle is crumbling around them. Their punches, everything is so powerful. And it's almost too powerful. The man who wielded King Arthur's sword dies in the battle, as do many, including Hellboy himself. Which you might be able to guess if you know that Hellboy in Hell is on the way. I mean, you gotta die to get to hell, unless you go to my mother-in-law's house. Waka waka. That's a little boomer humor for you, or Dr. Plant's humor, depending on what parts of the internet you're on. But yeah, Hellboy loses his heart. He dies. And he's mourned. Truly he is mourned. Morgan Le Fay kind of comes and gets the piggy. And we see some flowers bloom. With a little epilogue, which does appear to actually be fully drawn by Mignola. The epilogue is for sure Mignola. And then, one of my favorite things about these omnibuses, the sketchbook. Looking at the sketches is great, and you can see these little blurbs by Mignola and Duncan talking about their design choices and story choices and whatnot. I love the sketchbooks. They are a great addition. Some of them are longer than others, but they're always a great addition. And that is it for Hellboy Omnibus Volume 3, Wild Hunt. And I loved it. I cannot wait to read Volume 4, but once again, I am reading these in order. The site that was giving me my reading order shut down, and a lot of places don't really agree on it or don't even try to make one. But it's an incredible book. Like, read Hellboy. Honest to God, read Hellboy. It's incredible stuff. So that is it. Thank you all very much for your support. Remember to rate, comment, subscribe. Check out all the cool links down below. I actually sell a lot of comic books and trades, you know, single issue, collected edition, anything in my store. Most of that stuff is in my physical store. It mostly only ends up on the eBay if it's a more expensive one. The cheaper stuff goes in the physical store. But if you're in Georgia, you can get to my store pretty easily. You don't even have to leave your state. That's it. Thank you all once again. And I will see you all next time. Bye for now.